Arcadian Vanguard presents the Wrestling News in your daily wrestling newscast for Thursday, December 7th, 2023. Good morning, I'm Mike Sempervive. We begin with last night's AEW Dynamite aired live on TBS from the Bell Center in Montreal. The main event featured decorated former tag team partners Adam Copeland and Christian Cage facing off one-on-one for the first time in 13 years. Cage won the match by pinfall to retain the TNT Championship after Shayna Wayne struck Copeland in the head with the title belt while the referee was down.
This is a dangerous place for her. I agree with you.
Where is she going? Look, she's torn.
She is torn. What is...
Oh, what the hell did she just do?
What?
She made...
She made a decision. That's what she did.
In matches held as part of the Continental Classic Gold League, Jon Moxley defeated Roosh, Jay White defeated Jay Lethal, and Swerve Strickland defeated Mark Briscoe. Moxley and Strickland currently lead the Gold League with 9 points apiece and are scheduled to face off in a Gold League match on next week's Winter is Coming edition of Dynamite. With their losses this week, Lethal and Briscoe are eliminated from potentially winning the tournament, but are still scheduled to compete in tournament matches. Also on the show, Toni Storm made her first defense of the AEW World Women's title, turning back the challenge of Sky Blue. After the match, Storm was confronted by Riho, who was AEW's first World Women's Champion back in 2019.
Wait a minute. But I know this is Riho. Hold on here.
How about this? The first Women's World Champion. And the last time we saw Riho, Toni Storm, she was a part of the Outcast. They took out Riho, and now she's back.
I'm just taking the spotlight away from the champ here.
That is exactly right, Taz.
The
Stealing
first
the
ever
spotlight.
AEW Women's World Champion. Now the drop kick sends Toni Storm reeling.
The advertised match that was to see Samoa Joe and AEW World Champion MJF take on the Masked Devil's henchmen never took place, as Joe left the ring when it was revealed that MJF had apparently been laid out in the backstage area. In ratings news, the Deadline Go Home episode of NXT last Tuesday drew a total audience of 626,000 to USA Network, according to WrestleNomics. That's down 5% from last week's audience of 659,000. The rating in the key 18 to 49-year-old demographic was 0.19, which is up slightly from last week's 0.18 key demo rating. New Japan Pro Wrestling presented Day 13 of the World Tag League Tournament yesterday in Karatsu, Japan. In the final round of Block A matches, the teams of Alex Coughlin, Gabe Kidd, Great O'Khan, and Hanare, Gates of Agony, and Evil and Yujiro Takahashi all picked up wins. Coughlin and Kidd and Mikey Nichols and Shane Haste, the team that they beat yesterday, both advanced to the semifinals with 10 points apiece. Day 14 of the tournament, featuring the final round of Block B matches, was set for today in Minakono, Japan. The semifinals are scheduled for tomorrow, while the tournament concludes on Sunday in Mashiki, Japan. And before we leave you today, we'd like to remind you that however you consume your content, you can find the wrestling news 24 hours a day and 7 days a week across social media. On Twitter, follow us at Wrestling News AV. Our Facebook page is also Wrestling News AV. The Wrestling News can also be found on the Arcadian Vanguard YouTube page. And for those who utilize Amazon Echo devices, just tell Alexa to play the Wrestling News podcast. And remember to make sure you add podcast at the end. Once again, for daily updates, breaking news, and more, follow the Wrestling News across social media. And that's the news for today. If anything happens, we will be here to tell you about it. No clickbait, no paywall, just the Wrestling News. The Wrestling News is a division of Arcadian Vanguard, and the Wrestling Newscast is a production of the Arcadian Vanguard Podcast Network.